I would have never ever thought that I'd be in a rebuild with my child, but things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
I have to accept that, embrace it, look at why it's happening, and maybe deal with stuff with me, and get better at something, and then it'll be greater later. And here we go. You're listening to the Kings Can Move On podcast with your hosts, Jason Stewart and Frank Rainey.
What's up, everybody? This is the Kings Can Move On podcast, and you got Big Frank the Tank in the house.
And you got your boy Lil J. Well, Lil J, Big J, what do you want to call me? It's your boy J.
What's up,
What's
my brother?
up?
How you doing?
I can't complain, my dude. How you doing, man? How's your
Man,
weekend?
I'm doing great, bro. It was a very good, relaxing, quiet weekend. Memorial Day weekend, man. Didn't do anything but just relax around the house, cleaned up a little bit, and that's it, man. How about yourself?
No softball, no soccer, no tournaments.
Baby girl didn't have nothing this weekend, man. Tournament. I thought she was gonna have a tournament this weekend, but nope, no tournaments. We going down. We'll actually be in Lee Summit for a tournament next weekend. So excited about that. I ain't got to travel all the fucking world
That's at
for a
home.
tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
right up
good.
the actually right up the street, not even 4 minutes away. So,
Okay, real nice, real
what
nice.
about you, man? How was your weekend?
Oh, it was busy. It was a lot of how do I say? It was busy. So
Yep.
I went out Saturday night with my cousin and watched the fight. Ended up staying out all night long. And
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, he was like, Sunday fun day. I was like, oh, here we go.
Right.
Did that and hung out all night long again. And then on Monday,
Oh,
played golf. So, yeah,
oh man.
it was a full weekend, my dude.
So you ain't feeling the after effects of a 79-year-old man going out there and partying. You being the old man at the club, huh?
Let me tell you a quick story. So, I'm out Saturday night.
Uh,
We out at this bar. I'm out, got my little cap on, looking, how I do. And I'm talking to this young lady, you know, blah, 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 whatever, whatever. And, she was like, so talking about kids. I was like, yeah, I said, I got a 15-year-old, whatever. She's like, 15, blah, blah, blah. How old are you? I said, I'm grown, but,
uh,
she's like, yeah, you about what, 36?
oh,
Like,
man.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, if that's what you want to think, yeah.
I was like, keep going.
Mhm.
She was like, no, 40, that's it. I was like, I'll take that. She, no. I said, no. I said, I'm 49. What the hell? Get out of here.
How was she?
She was 36.
Oh,
So,
well, they're still in that range.
oh, yeah. Oh, it's still in range. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But like, no, it's like 49.
Hmm.
Brought her friend over. She's like, guess how old he is? Same thing. 49. I was like, hey, must be living right.
Right, right. Shit, like thank you. Shit, there used to be this guy, person that was a fun that they would say guess your age, and so they would have to guess your age or guess your date of birth or month month of birth or some shit like that, man.
Yeah.
So that sounds like they would be terrible at
Oh,
that game.
awful. I
Yeah,
mean, took my cap off everything. I was like, look, I'm about
right,
to. She's like,
right.
oh, like, no, you look good for your age. Like, well, I appreciate you, mama. I
Like thank you.
appreciate you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you. It don't crack, babies. It don't crack. Thank you.
Take care of yourself. That's all I can do. Take care of yourself. That's all I
Right,
can say.
right. Lot of jujubes or whatever the fuck they call that
Yeah,
shit.
whatever.
Hmm.
Something.
So, bro,
Echinacea, the whole nine. I don't know.
right. So, bro, we never. So went from the back to the time that when we first started this podcast, we went into your story, but we never did a follow up to your story, man. So I want to go back into that, man.
Well, you
Um,
know what? So my story, yeah, it was evolving, right? The last time I think we talked about my stuff,
mhm.
talk about my child not talking to her and the conflict I had with her mom and so forth, and my therapy sessions. So, an update to that, I did finally have a talk with my child's mother.
Because you hadn't talked to her in almost a year.
I hadn't talked to my child in like about a year.
Okay, all right.
Her mom, I've been talking to her over, occasionally, but not to any extent.
Mm-hmm.
So we finally had a real talk. You know, she brought some things that she was upset about. I heard her out. I
Well, who
apologized.
called who first off?
No, I did the calling. No,
Okay.
I reached out. I made the first call. She didn't answer. Didn't return the call.
Mm-hmm.
I waited about a week or so. I called again.
What made you even reach out in the first place?
Well, like I said, through my therapy sessions, um, I was prompted to deal with some stuff that I wasn't dealing with. That I thought I could just move on and would say, okay, that was a past. Let's move on. But through therapy, I was enlightened with the fact that you can't just move on when you had some issues that was unsettled.
And let me ask you, man, do you got a male therapist or a female therapist?
A
Because
female therapist.
see, man, see, because they telling you from a female's point of view, man.
And but let me tell you this though. When I look for a therapist, I look for a female therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted her perspective. I did.
Okay.
Because my perspective is jaded as hell. And I don't want a man to say, yeah, bro, I
You right.
feel you.
You
But
right.
yeah, you got a point.
Yeah.
I wanted a woman with all her, intuitions and her thoughts and whatever as a professional
Mm-hmm.
to say, yeah, Jason, I hear you, but think about this.
Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
man, I don't want to think about that. But I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it some more.
Right.
And I finally gave in and reached out. So it was a good conversation.
Okay.
Um, got some things aired out, and we both agreed to move forward in a positive manner, in a different manner than we've done in the past. So we did. We've been talking, been communicating weekly, and a good thing is I talked to my daughter as well. You know,
Cool.
we started
Cool.
talking again. I've called her on the phone. She answers the phone now.
Nice.
Responds to a text. Not every time. She's still a teenager. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but we've been building the bridge back up because
So let,
this
let me ask. Let,
reconnection.
let me ask this though, bro, and I want to go back to the original conversation. So with that original conversation with your ex-wife, um, was she receptive to you coming to her, or did she was there any feedback? Was there any resistance from her?
So there was initial resistance from the first call
Hmm.
that she didn't return, and she did return the call because she was feeling some kind of way.
Okay.
So when she finally did return the phone call, she expressed what she was feeling and why, and we addressed it. You know,
Okay.
I apologized, but I also told her where I was coming from. You know, not as an excuse, but just my mindset at the time. To
Okay.
know where I was at the time because I don't want to give you just a blanket apology like, yeah, I'm sorry for everything. No, I'm sorry if you. I'm sorry that I said that upset you, but let me know, let me let you know how I felt when I said it.
So it wasn't a situation where you said, "Hey, you know what? I'm sorry for the things that I did to you."
No,
You didn't wait for the
I didn't
apology
even
back.
wait. But
That's good.
here's the
Good.
catch. So after that, she did say, "If there's anything I've done, you know, let me know." I didn't because to me at that time it's about me getting my shit off to her
Hmm.
and letting her get her shit out. It wasn't like, well, since we are talking about this shit, let me dig back in my pages.
Yeah.
It wasn't the time for me. It was for me. The time was to just let her get her shit out, address it, apologize,
Hmm.
and move the hell on.
So it wasn't even about her. It was more about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Do you?
again, I know I said this before, right?
Hmm.
All we can control is ourselves.
Right.
So my whole idea was, yeah, about me. I can't control the response. Can't control what she comes back with. All I can say is I can come to the table with this intent, and get this out. So it wasn't like, okay, now turn it around. It was like, no, it was just let me get my shit out,
Hmm.
and so I can feel that shit off my shoulders,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know. So and so far so good. I still haven't seen my child yet. We're still working towards that. Um, hopefully be soon.
Baby
But
steps, bro. Baby steps.
it
You
is.
know.
It's a challenge because she's a teenager
Hmm.
and we've had this separation. So it's uh it's a practice of patience. It really is.
And like we said, y'all are in y'all in the same state, but different cities, so 4 hours away from each other.
4 hours away. So I can't just go on the street and say, "Hey, baby, I'm here."
Right. Right.
It's a that's a trip. You got to plan that. I can't go
Hmm.
over 4 hours of the road and like, okay, oh, I don't get to see her. Now what am I gonna do? Drive
How
back
did it?
home for 4 hours?
How and before the relationship got strained, bro? How did um how did the visitation work out before it went it faltered?
It was it was not ideal
Okay.
because I did a lot of driving. Uh, there was times I would drive up there and back the same day.
Oh damn.
That's 8 hours. I would drive up there and come back. There was a few
Her,
times that we agreed to meet in the middle, but most of the time I would drive up there and come back.
but you were driving back with your baby girl.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
either I go up there, get her, and come back, or take her home and then come back.
Any particular reason why you guys didn't have anything or couldn't come to an agreement on like a mutual spot, like a median?
Because I never enforced paperwork.
Okay. Okay.
So I learned some things about the paperwork afterwards that I could have done, but for the sake of seeing my child, I just foregone all that and just would make the drive. Because to
Do you
me, it was more important for me to just go see my child. So
do you feel like a lot of men make those sacrifices
I
for
think
that?
so. I think it is kind of the burden is on us to make those sacrifices. Unfortunately, um, because we're on the outside looking in. We are most of the time the non-custodial parents. So the mom has custody, primary custody, and depending on the relationship that you guys have, she can make it as easy or as hard.
Hmm.
You know. for you as a father. So you have avenues. You can fight it through court. Um, you can try to work it through you two, come up with a compromise, or you can bite the bullet and just do what you gotta do to see your child. For me, I took the latter. I took the do what I gotta do. You know.
So man, and that's interesting that you even say that because just looking through my marriages, and I'm going to speak specifically on the second one.
Mm-hmm.
When my second ex-wife and I were together, uh, even then I was working a lot to try to because I was part of that 2008 mortgage bust where I was a mortgage loan officer, and my income went from here down to all the way down to there.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to work different hours, multiple hours, work out of town or whatnot. And when I came home, I was tired. And even before I came home, um, when I was gone and working, my ex-wife had worked a full shift, and then she came home and took care of our daughter and my
Mm-hmm.
son at the time.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm pretty sure it was hard for her, and it was even harder for her to even when I got home. I'm so tired from working all day and all night trying to make whatever I was making,
Yeah.
um, that I either went downstairs and watched TV and just zoned out, or I was asleep. Would you say that it was like that with your marriage when you were?
If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to subscribe and like us on YouTube and rate and follow us on your favorite podcast platform. No.
Okay.
Um, so we both worked, um, and I wouldn't say I worked long hours. Uh, if anything, she probably worked longer hours than I did because at the time her job was very demanding. You know, she
Mm-hmm.
would get calls on the weekends, calls during the night for various issues where I didn't have that problem. So a lot of times she probably did more than I did work wise. So
Were you the primary caregiver when y'all were married, as far as with your daughter?
no, she still was. But we shared responsibility. I'll put it that way
Mm-hmm.
because many of nights, one or the other got up to get the baby when she was a baby. It wasn't like you get up, I'm tired. You get up. It was like whichever one of us, your turn, your turn.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
We both heard a baby crying. like,
Right.
like, oh, who getting up? You. I mean, many a nights,
Yeah.
uh, I can remember going, getting my baby girl. We go to the recliner, and
Mm-hmm.
rock her till we both fall out,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then either she come and get me, like, hey,
Yeah, come on to bed now.
or
Yeah.
vice versa. She'll
Right.
get up and take her, and I'll wake up and look out there like, what?
Yeah.
Living room, you look out, they on the couch together. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So now we both shared that responsibility. It was like it was nothing, not a burden on either one. We both shared it. Um,
When y'all split up, how old was your daughter?
Three.
So with that being said, because we deal with a lot, I mean, we have a lot of young men out here now that either they are not together with their their child's mother from pregnancy on. They moved on,
Hmm.
um, or they were with them from that onset, but now they split up. How would you say with your situation is when y'all did split up? How was that time split, and how was the time with you guys' daughter split?
I would see my child every other weekend.
Okay.
Even before we were divorced officially, and had the official decree, we were already in the mode of the routine of every other weekend. I'm a getter.
Did
Uh,
y'all work that out, or was it just a something that?
we decided that. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, we talked about it. We was like, um, we know we have an idea what it's gonna be when the
Mm-hmm.
when the order is put in place because it's pretty standard. So we'd already started like every other weekend. I go get her, whatever, have the weekend, whatever.
Did you see her during the week at all?
Not at the house.
Okay.
Um, if I took off time from work to go to the daycare, or later on when she was in school, I would go to the school and see her. You know,
Mm-hmm.
make that kind of effort, but it wasn't at the house. We didn't have that kind of relationship where I go to the house and hang out, uh, but we did. The custody thing was not an issue. Um,
Did you ever feel like you had gotten to a point to where you weren't doing enough? Because I feel like I am not doing enough now. I don't care if like
now
my daughter, yeah. Well,
you
just
work out
period.
all the time. Like I envy what you have because when I talk to you, it's not a day or two go by that you're not with Farron doing something. Either at
Right,
her
right.
games, at an event, she's with you. Y'all are together for a divorced parent. You were very, very fortunate because you were very, very, very active in your child, more so than the average person would be in the same situation.
But even with that though, I still feel like I don't do enough. And I don't know if it's a thing of you never feel like you do enough for your kids, but I feel like true enough, I don't like the government. I don't agree with what our brother Hen said. The child support made him a better man. I don't think that. I personally don't think that. I personally think that me being in my child's life is a better situation than me paying financially for. At the same time, like you and I were having a conversation earlier on we were having a conversation earlier on our daughter's rooms, right?
Yeah,
And my daughter's room upstairs is the same, looks the same way that it did 4 years ago when I moved in here. But she told me we were talking last night, and she was like, her mommy's changing her room, and she's actually going from her and my mom. I mean, her mom when we lived together, she lives in that they still stay in the same house.
yeah,
And so what was my son's room, my daughter moved into about 3, 4, 5 years ago. Now she's moving back to her old baby room,
yeah.
and they're redoing it. But they're redoing her room like I would say every 1 to 2 years. So Fan always has this new magical thing to going on in the room.
She's a
Well, you go
girl, dude.
upstairs,
She's a
same room for the 4 years ago. So
let's let's just say this. We know you're not an interior decorator. We know
nope,
that's not your forte. You're
nope.
a dad, and she doesn't live there full time. So what I would suggest. So to go back to what you say, you don't think you do enough. So our desire as dads of like our ilk
Mm-hmm.
are to be there every day.
Yeah.
We want to be there every day. That's what we're missing. So when you're not there, you feel like you're not doing enough because you're missing that. So yeah, I have that desire. I miss a lot. Um, but I still do what I can, when I can. Could I do more? Probably.
Yeah.
But for me, the distance is the issue. Life happens, and other stuff. But like I envy you because you are there quite a bit. Not every day like you'd like to be, but you are there. But what I suggest to you though is the room thing. She's a girl. Girls like pretty things. So what I would
Yeah.
suggest to you is Show her the next time she comes over, go to the store, let her pick out some stuff for the room.
Hmm.
Whether it's a new comforter, whether it's a new plushy pillow, a throw rug, some wall art, whatever. Just let her go pick out some stuff for the room.
Hmm.
And y'all come home together and decorate it. And spend that whole weekend doing her room up. You
Right.
you would be pleasantly surprised at how much she would love that shit.
And we used to do that shit, but it's now that she got to that freshman. She'll be a freshman in high school this year, which I can't believe, dude. And but we used to, like 3 years ago, we would go do that,
Mm-hmm.
and she would tell me what she likes. But now, um, she doesn't come over as much. We still may spend almost every day together,
Yeah.
but she doesn't come spend the night anymore
You go
as
see her
much as
or you go whatever. You're together in some form of fashion, but not
yeah,
at the
yeah,
house.
yeah.
Spending that
Which
kind of
which
time.
brings me to my point of, I feel guilty that yeah, I'm paying my stuff over here, but I'm not contributing to what she's spending. I mean, the usage, like light usage, gas,
Financially?
water. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that bothers me. I think about that every day,
That doesn't
and not
bother
saying
me
that I
though.
want to court.
You
Yeah, I
ain't
don't want a
lacking it.
court to tell me that, but I want to contribute to her mom, to
Okay.
say, hey, you know what? Here's this amount. Here's this amount. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
but
throw a
you
number.
I forgot. You don't have child support, right? You don't pay to that ex. So okay. So I was gonna say I couldn't disagree more
Right?
because I pay child support.
Yeah.
I pay a good penny in child support.
Hmm.
So as far as financial lacking, there is none.
Yeah.
A, she's not lacking. She never has lacked anything.
So it could be a lacking, maybe not lacking in financial for you, but
No.
lacking in the time.
Yeah, time and emotional connection. But yeah, no. Mom's does well financially.
Hmm.
She's married now. They're fine. She gets my monthly support check. Uh, they're good. Like that song by Jeezy and them. Guy, I'm
Hmm.
straight.
I'm straight. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they
Shout out to
straight.
Jeezy
Yeah, I need me a check. But anyway,
and Ti.
yeah, Ti, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I need me a check. But
Yeah.
no, so no, I don't think about that part of it. It's the time. For me, it's all time.
Hmm.
Yeah, not finances. She's good financially. I just want more time.
Do
But
you think that the balance will be there if y'all did live in the same city?
yeah, because it was there when they lived here. Like I said, it was every other weekend still.
And it was this been
Consistent.
about what, 3, 4 years now?
Yeah. So it has gone from every other weekend to maybe 3 times a year. You know,
Yeah, it hurts, man.
yeah, that's a big drop off.
Yeah,
So and yeah, even less than that now with the current situation. But
right.
um, yeah, it's about growing these transitions they have and other stuff. But
Hmm.
that reminds me of a story I saw on Facebook
Hmm.
about uh, this mom was complaining about her baby's dad has moved on, got a new family, takes care of those kids, but not his kids with her, you know. And her kids are 14, 15, whatever. And they're like, what's up with this? Why don't dad do this? You know what? Who needs something? They get the attitude down, like, you know what? F him, he ain't here, whatever. And she's like, I wish he would come around. But then it's always the comments. It's always the comments.
Yeah, yeah,
The comments come in, and one dude was like, well, that's good and all, but what about his story? What about his side of the story?
yeah.
I want to hear his story because these women and this BS, they be holding the child out, and then he went in
Mm-hmm.
about the BS about, you want to call it deadbeat dad, but you want to do this and that, make it hard for a dad to see the child, and this on and on. And dads walk away because of the woman and this and that. And he was like, dads commit suicide. He went in,
Mm-hmm.
and I get it. What I would say though, especially being my own experience, is don't walk away.
Yeah.
It can be difficult. It can be challenging, especially dealing with a difficult ex if you had that. Um, but those children have no part or say in any of that.
Right.
They're just like, where's dad at? Where's mom at? What's going on? Why I don't see you? They have no background information other than what you may feed them on one side or the other. So
Right.
it's hard, but I would say don't walk away. Don't give up on your child. Do whatever you can. You know, keep working to reconnect
Mm-hmm.
and be there because it's important to that child. If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to subscribe and like us on YouTube and rate and follow us on your favorite podcast platform. And it can be very challenging. It can be very difficult. Trust me, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had moments myself. I'm like, you know what? Okay, whatever. Just F it. But I love my child too much
Right.
to give up on her.
Right. Right.
Even if in her state she doesn't realize because she's a teenager and she doesn't realize she's doing her thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, okay, whatever. I know.
Yeah.
And I know at some point, we'll reconnect. And I'd rather her come back and say, Dad, I know you were trying to connect and I was doing my thing, or Mom, whatever. Rather than her say, well, Dad, where were you?
Where were you? You
Where
never
were
even
you?
tried to reach out to me.
Yeah, I never heard from you. I know I was doing my thing, but still, you my dad. What happened?
Yeah.
I'd rather it
You
be the
you the daddy.
way.
You supposed to reach out.
Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
you you supposed to be the one to know better and do better.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather just do that, deal with this pain and issue now, and make sure she knows that I'm here. I ain't going nowhere. I'm daddy.
Yeah.
I'll be here whenever you get through. Whenever you get done, I'm be here.
Yeah.
So, you know,
That's what's up.
yeah, that's all I say to young folks.
You know, brother, saying that, man, and I may go off on a tangent for a couple minutes, but forgive me, y'all. But man, I'll say this, dude. Tonight, my daughter had a end of the year soccer party, and forgive me if I got a little get a little emotional because a lot of these girls, I can remember when I transit with my daughter and I, we transitioned from recreational soccer to competitive soccer. And that was about 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. And so I've seen a lot of these girls from 8, 9 years old to the age that they are now, and they're about to go into high school. And before I left out to come here and do the podcast, I thanked each and every one of them because they don't understand how much of an impact they made on my life. Because if I didn't have her, if I didn't have my daughter, I wouldn't have been able to see her grow and all these other girls grow. And it it makes me happy to see growth and to see what the future holds. And these girls, they just out there, they don't understand this shit. They don't understand this shit. They won't understand it until like 20, 30 years later. But
Years later.
yeah, just watching them laugh and play and grow, I'm just blessed and I'm so grateful to God, the universe, Krishna, whoever you Allah,
Here you
whoever
go.
y'all want to call,
Here
whatever
we
y'all
go.
want to call the
Him.
universe, whatever you call it. Yeah.
Him.
Whatever y'all want to call it. I'm just grateful to the source that brought us all here for me to see and enjoy those things in my life. And so I just encourage everyone, man. If something came from you, from your seed
Mhm.
and from your womb,
Mhm.
enjoy that 1,000%, because we don't always have that. We don't have all the time that we need, that we want.
Nope. And it
I lost my,
flies.
yeah,
It
I
flies
lost my
so quickly.
son at 24. He
Yeah.
was 24 years old. I was never expecting to lose my young king, ever, ever expecting to lose him. So one thing I tell you guys is, if you have a child, if you have a child out here or children out here, be a part of that child's life. Do what you can, because you have these dads out here and these moms out here that are fighting for to spend that time with that child. Now you have some dads and moms out here can give a damn less, and that's wrong. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, that's not right. That's not right. Be a part of that child's life. Want to be a part of that child's life. Tell that child you want to be a part of their life, so they know, he or she knows that, hey man, my daddy and my mama rock for me. My daddy and my mama want to be there, and I may not like it. I ain't like all the times my mom and daddy was there, but you know what? At this point in my life, I sure appreciate it. I appreciate everything that my mother and father did. So
Yeah.
be there for them, man, because they gonna man and woman, because they're gonna love that, and they're gonna appreciate that, and they're gonna respect you more than you ever know,
Yeah.
ever.
It's important. It is. And some of them won't realize it until they're older, until they have children.
Uh
You
huh.
know, think about when we were younger, we were like, oh man, whatever, blah blah blah.
Right.
You know. It ain't until you actually become a parent, you start thinking back on what your parents did or said and all that
Mm-hmm.
it meant to you, and you're like, damn, I see it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll remember stuff. Trust me,
Right.
they'll remember all of it.
Yesterday, my dad would have been 70. Yesterday was my dad's birthday. He would have been
Okay.
76 yesterday. I lost my dad when he was 48.
Yeah.
He was 48. I miss him to this day.
Yeah.
That was 1994 when my pops passed, almost 30 years ago. And I still think about my pops to this day. And I think about the positive influence and all the funny shit and all the times that we spent together and all the times that we had a barbecue and all that shit. Your kids remember that. And
Yeah.
if you don't, and one of the things that they also remember are the times you weren't there.
Yep. Yeah. Definitely.
So
Definitely. Make an impact. Make a difference. Be a dad. Be a mom.
yeah,
You know, it's so vital. It really
right.
is. Time is not promised to nobody. Time doesn't wait on nobody. So, act today.
Right.
Whatever you dealing with, get over it.
Um, love them.
Love on your children.
Appreciate them.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I didn't mean to go off on a tangent. Yes, I did. I meant to go off on a
Yes, you
tangent, brother.
did,
But
and that's all
yeah,
right. That's all
yeah, yeah.
right.
I'm so happy, man, that you're able to reconnect with baby girl. Man, I'm so ecstatic over y'all's future and what it's
Yeah,
gonna
man.
hold.
Like it's a rebuild. You know, I would have never ever thought that I'd be in a rebuild with my child, but things happen for a reason.
Yeah,
I have to accept that, embrace it, look at why it's happening, and maybe deal with stuff with me, and get better at something, and then it'll be greater later. That's all I gotta think about.
absolutely,
And,
absolutely, bro.
I ain't going nowhere. Like I said, as long as God gives me breath, I will be that child's daddy, and I will be there.
Yeah.
So
Hey, bro, we didn't ever think that we was gonna have to build twin towers, but when that shit got blown up in 01,
yeah,
now you see it's some twin towers. I mean, I don't know if they're twin towers, but it's some
yeah,
buildings
they
now.
rebuilt
So
towers. Yeah, No,
Yeah,
it's
so
yeah, they rebuilt shit.
yeah, it's all about rebuilding, man.
Yeah.
If something gets broken down, you just got to build it again. So
If you hear some noise in the background, that's my dog over here shuffling over the damn pillow.
and and
But
also, and just on a private note, yeah, I know my shit is grainy right now, and Jason's is clear like a Kodak camera. But I'll get it fixed. I'll get it fixed to where my stuff ain't as grainy as it is right now, and
what
we look
you do
at it.
have working is you had that salt and pepper on that beard. And what I hear, the ladies love that salt and pepper, man. That salt and pepper coming through, bro. Keep rocking it. Don't go
Mhm.
back to the whatever the stuff you was using.
No, I'm about to go buy me some just for men. Buy me just a little bit. I'll dark this here just a little bit. I'll keep this gray and whatever. But yeah, this just, man, I'm looking like I'm 59, 58 instead of 48. Come on,
Man,
man.
when I'm on TikTok, oh, I mean when I'm on the internet, just they be saying love a little salt and pepper, man.
I understand. Maybe that's something we'll put in the poll, man. That's we looking at doing a poll, doing some polls on the King and Move On, so we can see what y'all want to talk about, what y'all want to hear us talk about.
Coming up next, coming up, y'all, coming up in the near future. We're gonna do a live stream, a couple of them.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a live stream with some men of different voices to talk about just our nation and gun violence.
Yeah.
And we're also going to do a live stream on a battle of the sexes.
Yep.
We'll have some men and some women get on here to talk about relationships and the problems that we are having
Right.
with those
So,
things.
you men, stand up. Let us tell these women what we want, what we like, what we need for us to stay in this damn relationship.
And stay off of TikTok. That shit will just mess you all up. Between the chicks on TikTok, like, hey, yo, woman ain't doing this. Yo, man deserves this. I'm like, yeah, you right.
Yeah. So right. You so right.
Trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. But
But listen, but listen. It's been a good talk, my man.
absolutely, brother.
Good talk, man. It's always a good time talking to you on this podcast, brother. It
Mm-hmm.
really is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
with that, Big Frank,
Lil J,
peace out, y'all. Can't move on.
Kings to move on. Like and subscribe.
If you enjoyed that episode, don't forget to subscribe and like us on our YouTube channel and rate and follow us on your favorite podcast platform.